Welcome to Face Islam, the program that deals with the subjects facing Muslims everywhere. Today we want to talk about ibadah or worship, and in particular something that Muslims are being accused of very falsely. And that's the topic of Muslims worshiping the moon or a moon god, something in a box in the desert. We've heard a lot about this subject, especially from one particular individual by the name of Dr. Robert Morey in his book, The Moon God Called Allah. What we find within his book deals with the subject of archaeology and real evidences that they have found in the Arabian desert of little statues dedicated to a moon god and maybe called Allah. The problem with it is, though, it's all pre-Islamic, before Islam came. And we know, and you know, that before Islam came, people worshipped anything and everything that moved. Rocks, sticks, stones, bones. If it moved, if it didn't move, it didn't matter. They were going to worship it. And then Islam came, and that's when it all changed. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, was very adamant about the fact that people could not worship anything in the creation, only the Creator himself. So it is very wrong for someone to assume, simply because there are some evidences of statues and idols that people did worship before Islam came, that has anything to do with Islam. The fact of the matter is, in the Quran itself, it denies star worship, moon worship, sun worship, you name it, and it's mentioned there. Now, in addition to that, the Prophet ﷺ himself, when they entered into Mecca for the last time, he and his companions destroyed all 360 idols that dominated the sacred area called the Haram, where the Kaaba is. They destroyed each and every one of those statues, and one of them even had sounds coming out of it. Now, can you imagine, after all of this information that we're laying out here, very clear, you can pick this up in any set of encyclopedias dating all the way back to the 1920s, clearly stating that Islam is very monotheistic to the point that we don't even consider worshiping anything in the creation at all. So how could someone who has a PhD in religion write such a book? Well, that's another story for another time. But for sure, Muslims don't worship anything in this creation. Not the moon, not the sun, not the stars. Let us talk about this just for a second. The Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, is mentioned in the Quran. And we see that he himself had looked up to the stars, looked to the moon, looked to the sun to decide, is there anything there worth worshiping? And he decided, no, there's not. And he even said, if my Lord doesn't guide me, I'm not going to be guided. Because he's looking, where's God? And how many of us have gone through something like that? And then suddenly, when Allah does guide, and you know, hey, I don't need to see him. I don't need to touch him. I don't need to hear him myself, because as a Muslim, I'm hearing his words every day. When the Quran is being recited, I'm listening to the exact words that Almighty Allah gave to the angel Gabriel, the same words that were passed on to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that he repeated then to his companions, and they passed it down mouth to ear for the last 14 centuries. If we want to know anything about God, we can simply go to his book, the last testament, the final testament that he sent to all mankind. And we see for sure, and without any doubt, that Muslims don't worship the moon. They don't worship the stars. They don't worship the sun. They don't worship the universe or anything in it, because we worship the Creator, not the creation. I hope we've made that clear, but if you'd like to visit on our website to see more about this subject and learn how you can get a copy of the Quran. You can visit us on www.faceislam.com. Along with that, you'll find some of our videos, audios, and even the refutation against the book that we've been talking about, the moon god called Allah. And inshallah, we'll be back with more of this on Face Islam.